have two questions, Misha Green. Just two questions. Who hurt you? And why did you take us as an audience on the journey of your high school softcore trauma porn? Oh my goodness.
Sorry, yeah, it's above the world. It's above the world. This is me, I'm so royal.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is your girl Crow, and welcome to Let's Be Honest, where we talk about fun discussions of facts, fiction, everything from gaming to shows to books. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to my editor Carrie, and I want to give a shout out to Yashu's Playground. This is my second to final video of Lovecraft Country. Yes, you heard me say it. Like I said, there are a lot of other projects that I'm getting ready to be doing and heading up in the near couple of months. So, it's going to be a fun, exciting ride. Like, comment, like, and subscribe, folks. So I'm going to be doing different things. And if people want to see me rant about different things, please, like, roll it down in the comment section. That works for me as well too. Since my editor is telling me I should be more, more active with my commenters and subscribers. So yeah, anything else you want to see? But there will be a new segment coming up called Crow's Corner, and I'm going to be doing a lot of lesbian books and books, related to the community and the gay community and what we're doing and stuff like that. But it's mostly going to be lesbian books because, come on, there's some train wrecks out there that I need to be commenting on. I'm looking at you, Jenny Frame. So look forward to that. And I also too, it's not just going to be a hate channel either. I'm going to be recommending some pretty decent ones that I think are pretty decent, and I think that a lot of people should be reading as well too. But let's get down to business. We are on Forgotten Ones Part 2. This is the last and final part to the Colorism journey. Last week I talked about D, and yeah, that was a train wreck in itself, because goddamn, that's all I can say. So we're going to be getting on some of my favorite characters, even though by the end, one of them I literally hated. I hated. She was one of the 95% that I fucking hated in that damn car, episode 10. So we're going to be talking about Hippolyta, Ruby, and a bit of Montrose, even though technically Montrose is not in the cover, because Montrose will be on my next video, which will be the last video, called The Tick Problem. So Misha Green once again has taken us into a vortex of fuckery, and it is so amazing how this woman has managed to, fuck us over. I swear to God, it's so horrible, actually, how you can manage to fuck us over. The issue of colorism is something that I believe she swept under the rug completely. And there was an interview that she had done where they do actually question her about colorism, and she actually just dismisses everything, basically, like that wasn't the goal of what she was talking about. So at the end of the day, that will possibly be in the links and descriptions below. Her answer is just so discerning, and it's really sad that a woman who had so much potential to highlight a show just dropped the ball completely. Like I said, it's a journey of her high school softcore trauma porn. It really is at this point. I think, I don't know too much about Misha Green, but according to everybody saying she grew up in an all-white high school. Like, Misha, like, slow the fuck down, bitch. Just because the white girls didn't want to play with you and the black girls didn't think you were cool enough didn't mean that we had to go and see this fuckery of colorism displayed so blatantly in your fucking project. And which leads me to the issue of Ruby and Hippolyta. And I'm going to get a bit into Montrose, but like I said, I'm not going to be delving too deep into him because his internalized issue with him hating himself as a gay man is really another topic for another day, but it's mostly for the next video. But how did colorism affect everybody in this shit? I'm gonna let you know. Hippolyta and Ruby were once again targets. Like D was a target, Hippolyta and Ruby were targets. They really were. It's really sad to see that this girl, that these two beautiful black women were targets. And you know, I have to still say, aside from Strange Case in episode 8 and the beginning of episode 10 of the show in the finale, I had to say I Am was one of the most beautiful, well thought out kind of episodes to me. I know I said what I said. I thought that the colorism, the vibrancy was gorgeous. Everything about that episode was gorgeous to me. It really was. In a span of, I love the purples and the hues, and visually it was very, very, very much so meeting my aesthetic. But spiritually, it was not meeting my aesthetic. It really was not spiritually. It was like, damn, bitch. I mean, I'm just gonna say it straight real. When Hippolyta said, sometimes I just want to kill white people, I was like, god damn, bitch. Like, why do you have to take it that far? Like, Misha just took it that far. Like, it's so funny that within her militant bullshit, she becomes literally a goddamn, like, colorist fucking Uncle Tom. Like, it's so stupid. I don't get how can you be black and militant and be a whole ass Uncle Tom at the same time and make us all look bad. And I'm getting to a lot of moments too. I mean, Hippolyta was done so dirty, and Ruby was too, especially with Hippolyta concerning herself on episode 7 I Am. I mean, Hippolyta finds a journey of herself, even though she was looking for a husband. She finds a journey of herself, and she becomes this infinite kind of number and speck into the bigger part of the universe. And the saddest part about it is, we get fans and fandom saying, well, Hippolyta ain't shit for leaving D like that. It's mostly a bunch of black male hoteps who think they got something going on by saying, oh yeah, black women should be at home. Like I said, racism and misogynism flow very well together in the same river, okay? And prejudice is no difference. Like I said, black people cannot be racist, but they can show as hell be prejudiced. And that is a mess in itself. What Misha Green had did to Hippolyta was disturbing, and what she did to all characters of color. Now, mind you, I know this show is a messy, fucked up show. It shows the messiness and the complexity of characters, but I got more mess than complexity. I really did, and it's just like, bitch, really? Because at the end, the only message I had got from Hippolyta was, I want to kill all white people, and I don't watch my kids. Okay, and that's the only message that I had got from her. And I think that's such a disturbing title to do that. Like, how can you sit there and push and flagship that shit? Is beyond me. How do you flagship that shit at any level is beyond me. I can't deal. I can't deal. And it's not just with Hippolyta that she did that. She did that with Ruby as well. Who Ruby was a mother figure of sorts to Letty. And the saddest part is she was a mother figure of sorts to Letty. And when she finally chooses her own path and her destiny, she gets killed. Or everybody, as the popular fan theory states on Archive of Our Own, she's in a coma, okay? And it's so disturbing how Misha and her soft-headed ass could do something like that. Like, yes, I'm dragging her by her fucking edges again. I don't give a fuck. Like I said, this is my second to last video. I give no fuck. I mean, this halfwit sits her ass up here and says, well, this is for the people, this is for the culture. But she goes on to say in an interview when questioned about the colorism issue, that it wasn't a thing it wasn't a thing that they wanted to prioritize. I mean, the fuck? Like, how can you do that? Like, she says it's pervasive in our culture right now, and it's not hard to talk about. But she didn't want to say everything about colorism, but she wanted to say everything about racism and how we should be crushing the white enemy. Like, no, bitch, no. No, clean up your own kitchen before we start trying to clean house in somebody else's, sis. No, no, no. And this is why Misha Green is a soft-headed ass hoe. Now, like I said, she totally, if not wholly, destroyed a lot of the images. And mind you, half of these changes weren't a part of the book at all, ladies and gentlemen. They weren't a part of the book at all. These were her in the studio and the showrunner's own personal choices. Montrose being gay was a choice that was made by her. Hippolyta in her situation was a little bit canon to the book, Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff, but it wasn't all the way canon all the way. Okay, her end result wasn't canon. I can tell you that much. And Dee was a totally whole different synopsis. She wasn't even a kid, to be quite honest. Okay, she has a son named Horace, but that's a whole different story. And as for Ruby being put in place in the coma, that is not a fucking thing, people. Not in the books. But mind you, in the books, there is no female Christina, so all my lesbian fans, please don't go read the books. You're going to be more excited for the parts that are cleaned up, aside from the show, but in another way, you're just going to be vastly disappointed since, our favorite girls are not bumping tacos. So, at the end of the day, it's just sad the way Misha performed this. She made Hippolyta and Ruby the only decent mother figures that had roots into these selfish, forgetful people, which they weren't selfish for loving themselves and taking the time to say, I love myself. It's like you're punished for being black, big, and saying you love yourself. It's such a disturbing kind of thing. And meanwhile, Letty loves herself just fine, and she understands the meaning of family, kinda, sorta, not really, because she used her sister again. And she gets a whole butt full of cupcakes and love and joy and security. Are you fucking kidding me? I felt no motherfucking sympathy when Tick died. I was like, ooh, good. Oh. And I just wish that Christina would have kept her dead. But we're not going to get on my tall, skinny papa right now. We're not going to get on that. But the issue that ticked me off is the highlights with everything. From Montero's abuse of Tick to, Hippolyta and Ruby's journeys and how they were pushed in the background. They really were pushed in the background. And they only pushed them in the background by episode 10 and all their expansive and beautiful journeys to highlight Jiha and Letty. And I'm just sitting here looking like, the fuck? Like, Jiha? Jiha? I'm not saying Jiha is bad. I think Jiha is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, but that Mimi and Dago episode, that was boring as fuck, to be quite honest with me. To be quite honest with myself, and to be quite honest with you as the audience. That was boring as fuck. I'd rather count the lint on an old woman's coochie hairs than to watch Meet Me and Dago again. I don't want to see it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Alright? So, that's how many things I could be doing while watching that. And to highlight her, it's just like, okay, I get it. She's a koomy hoe. But you pushed all these amazing stories with Hippolyta, Ruby, to push her up so she can have dick-sized tentacles spilled from her eyes? I'm not getting that. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it at all. I thought I got it, but I just did not get it at all. I was just like, is this what I'm doing right now? Like, is this what's going on right now? I have no fucking clue. And the saddest part is, these black women, these beautiful black big bone women, were just so misused. I mean, now they were so misused in their talents. I mean, Ruby with the metamorphosis, Hippolyta could have went back to other journeys and other universes with her daughter and said, "Fuck out of here." But instead, they made Hippolyta seem like a dumbass by sitting there and not speaking up for Christina when she asked for the fucking book of names. I was just like, she could have suggested to her, like, yo, it wouldn't hurt to see the pictures, or let her see the pictures. She should have suggested that. Meaning at the end of the whole time, it's like, Hippolyta did not notice that this white woman is cutting your hand to save your daughter's moisturized arm. Like, come the fuck on. Like, so that's not a fucking thing. Okay. See, on top of that, that's the situation with Misha too. She took smart and beautiful black women characters and just fucking made them dumber than dog shit. Like, how did you make them that dumb? You shouldn't have made them dumb. They were too smart to be dumb. Okay, they were too smart. Letty was just too dumb to be dumb. But the sad part about it is how all these beautiful actors and actresses gave their 110,000% of all to this fucked up dumpster bin, I want to shoot myself ass fucking script. I mean, it's still not as bad as Game of Thrones, but still, it's hitting off really close as my blood pressure is as well, too. Because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this bitch should not be behind any writer studio. She need to go be a real estate consultant or something, because I don't know what the fuck Misha Green was trying to fucking put out. Bitch, go do that. Go do that. Go sell houses and shit, okay? Please, God. Because you should not be in this field if you're going to tell this kind of shit. And then to go on an interview and say, oh, well, that wasn't our main goal and focus. White bitch devil was our main goal and focus. Who hurt you, sis? I swear to God, this is like a hate letter. Like, the issue of colorism and Misha Green not like addressing it was like a hate letter to all dark skinned big bone women. It really was, and queer women and gay people as well too. It was like a hate letter. You know how like Avengers, the Endgame, like, you know, the last one was a love letter to Marvel fans. Well, this was a hate letter to fucking black women. It's like Misha Green got mad that black people wouldn't fucking like let her, you know, wouldn't let her chill with him. Like, oh my God, I can see why, sis. Okay, I can see why. You're an asshole. I can see it. I said it. I don't take it back. Okay, I don't take it back. I think D&D on Game of Thrones are a bunch of assholes too. But I mean, it's really sad that half of the dark-skinned women that were on there, they villainized in some kind of way. She villainized her. She made Hippolyta seem like she was the uncaring and unattentive mother. She made Ruby seem like she was the selfish sister. And all because they wanted to do something for themselves and pamper and cater to themselves and find their own spaces as women of color. It is especially big bone women of color, to being somebody who just lost a husband, or somebody who just found out her sister's a piece of crap. I mean, it's so much messed up bullshit that Misha just told and gave a message, and it gave a message that was so wrong. And we're not even gonna get on Montrose and his self-hate of him being a gay man and literally beating the shit out of his kid. I mean, it's all this situation that's going on with all the dark skinned characters in Misha Green's fuckery of a show, all have to dredge up the fact that these people or these beautiful dark skinned characters with complexity weren't up to snuff to do the most basic of tasks. And what she's doing is saying that Montrose wasn't up to snuff to do the basic task of being an actual father who wasn't an abusive asshole to Tick, or Hippolyta not being there for her daughter, or Ruby not being there for her sister who's used her for the thousandth fucking time. I mean, like, she's saying that these black people who are dark skinned and big, who want their own, and queer, who want their own spaces, are not worthy of having their own fucking spaces. This soft-headed bitch is a fucking menace to fucking film. I said it and that's it, okay? Like I said, be a real estate consultant, sis, or go work at McDonald's and fix the McFlurry machine. But get the fuck off the camera, please. Because if you can sit there and say that racism and the white bitch devil Christina is the issue, but not fix the issue of colorism and tell that story effectively, then what the fuck is wrong with you? And then there's another issue of it is you change these characters and some of their journeys and tweak some of their journeys and didn't follow the book. Also, they could take a back burner to Jihar with the tentacles coming out of her damn ears. Looking like a goddamn Japanese fucking hentai fucking experiment. If you don't get your ass out of here, Misha, if you don't get your ass out, no. You had so many things that you could have spoken up on, but you chose not to. And then you doubled down on it like an asshole. I mean, how is it sad that, how is this such a sad moment that a show that had so much potential sit there and villainize the strong black women that got Tick to his damn place. And the saddest part about it, if it is too, it wasn't just black women. If she was trying to show anything of any kind of dexterity or any kind of positiveness of black images, bullshit. Because you killed off George too. Which BTW in the books, George isn't dead, people. Yeah, he isn't dead. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, she did not do right by these dark skinned characters who were on the south side of motherfucking Chicago. I mean, she really didn't. And meanwhile, I'm supposed to sit here when the Emmys come up and be cheering for her dumb ass. I really hope she don't win an Emmy. Now, I hope the actors win Emmys. I do. I hope that Jury wins an Emmy, Jonathan Majors wins an Emmy, the lady who played Hippolyta wins an Emmy, Uncle George, Michael. I hope Abby Lee, but I hope Abby Lee and fucking Willoughby, they fucking mop up. But I really hope Abby Lee and Willoughby, I hope they fucking mop up on every damn thing. Because I'm going to tell you straight real, their acting sequences went harder than all of Game of Thrones for all 10 years. Everybody in Game of Thrones, they look like they piss on turnips. I'm putting that out there. They really do. They look like they just mad as hell all the time, and that was supposed to be acting. Lena Headey didn't even do as good as I would think so. But I digress from shitting on Game of Thrones, which will possibly be my next segment. Not this video coming up, but the next video. And we're going to talk about George R. R. Martin being a whole ass motherfucking clown in himself. Everybody has done the D&D thing and said that no. We're going on George. We're going to cap on his head. But that is just a really sad system, pretty much. It's a really sad system with Misha Green. I was hoping for better about the colorism issue, but we didn't get better. And we, as a community of LGBTQ plus A plus members, it's sad as fuck how she had chose to queerbait and fall back on that because she didn't have enough confidence to write a full script. And not just enough confidence, enough integrity to write a decent script. And this is the saddest issue with it. And how it's sad that Hippolyta wanted to take a journey to find herself outside of her husband's shoes had ended up getting villainized. Or how Ruby wanted to enjoy the thrills of sexual pleasure by somebody who's not our own skin tone had ended up becoming demonized and fucked up. Now, I get it. There was a lot of self-internalized hate for gayness as well, too, on Montero's deal. But that is a deal that I could have, how do you call it? I could have kept it or left it at the benefit of seeing Montrose be a better person. But everything from Montrose slitting Yamia's throat to them saying that Ruby, or to critics saying that Ruby was selfish, to everybody saying Hippolyta was a shitty mother because she decided to go on a journey for a couple of weeks. You know, it's so funny how we make that excuse for white women who go on vacays and volume all damn for weeks and weeks on end and leave their damn children to maids and shit, but we want to go all hard for the dark-skinned people, you know, who decide to, you know, have a little bit of personal time to themselves. And the one who told that fucked up narrative was Misha. It wasn't nobody else. It was fucking Misha. And like I said, I would just want to know who the fuck hurt her. Who the fuck hurt her? Who really did? Who hurt her enough to go to not be true to her people of all shapes, sizes, colors, and sexual orientations? Who did it? Who did it? And really, it's really sad. So, comment, like, subscribe, everybody. More subscribers, the better. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the, way of shows and stuff. And please look out for Crow's Corner. I will be discussing books and dragging niggas on books. But like I said, I don't want this to be a whole hate channel damn thing. But I do want to get out the issues that nobody seems to talk about on YouTube. I swear to God, it's like everything has to be farts and rainbows with everybody. But like I said, if you like the video, comment, like, and subscribe. And I will be working on next week. I'll be working on, the tick issue, because we have to talk about tickles. We do. We have to talk about tickles. It's in my nature to talk about tickles and what the fuck happened there. Yes, I am calling him that. I am not sparing anybody. So like I said, comment, like, subscribe. Anything, like I said, shout out to Yashu's Playground. Shout out to Carrie. Check it out down at the description below. Bling It On Girl. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, top of the world. When I hear him come like my fuse and then ba-bum. Later, see you later, I'm about to blow this up. You can sing my song if you want, I know you want it. It's always kinda funny, yeah, cause you I know I'm a superstar in the sky to lead you on. Haters gonna hate, it's a proof of how they love. They can bring me down, nah. They are jealous of me and my umbrella, yeah, they love me so.